I want to advise all of you brothers, when it comes to social media, my brothers, stay away from social media. If you believe in Allah and the Day of Judgment and you want to come protected, inshallah ta'ala, stay away from social media. Avoid it. A lot of brothers are on social media, Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and all of that, and stay away from it. Avoid it. Stay away from debates and argumentations. I want to mention some advices of the Salaf regarding these issues, debating online and the things that it causes. So bear with me, inshallah ta'ala, because I find this issue very prevalent, very common. Let me mention some of the statements of the Salaf regarding these issues of debates. Abbad ibn Abbad al-Khawas, he gave an advice, and I think this advice touched my heart. Honestly, I was shocked when I read it. He said the following, my brothers and sisters, please remember this. Wallahi, hold on to this advice. He said, do not suffice yourself by claiming that you are holding on to the sunnah verbally without acting upon the sunnah. Attributing yourself to the sunnah and saying, Ana min ahli sunnah, without acting upon the sunnah. It's lying in your speech, whilst you're forsaking actions. Allahu Akbar. Look what he then says after that. Do not shame a person for being an innovator. Do not shame a person saying, you're a mubtadi', you're an innovator. Why are you doing it? You want to adorn yourself, because the person becoming an innovator and the people of innovation becoming corrupt is not going to increase in your righteousness. You proving this person is a very evil innovator and this person has fallen off and he's deviated is not going to increase you in righteous deeds. Allahu Akbar. It's not going to make you a min ahli taqwa. It's not actually going to increase in you being from min ahli sunnah. Remember that statement. Another statement that Al-Imam Ad-Darimi rahimahullah, he said, it is not permissible for a person to attribute a person to innovation and say, you're min ahli bid'ah, verbally or by action. Saying this person is khariji is tabdiyah. Saying this person is this is tabdiyah. And there are conditions for it. Do not say those statements until you are certain, that you are sure. Sheikh Salih al-Fawzan, alayhi rahmatullah, look what he said here. I went about people, speaking about people and saying that this person is an innovator and this person is min ahli sunnah. Sheikh Salih al-Fawzan, hafidhahullah, he said, it is not permissible for the beginner students of knowledge and the general mass, which is majority of the people on social media, to preoccupy themselves. This person is a mubtadi' and this person is a transgressor. This matter is a very serious matter. These beginner students of knowledge, these amma, they don't have knowledge. They don't know this topic and this issue. And on top of that, this is going to increase in animosity and it's going to increase al-baghda' baynahum. Busy yourself in seeking knowledge, my brothers. Hold your tongue from this issue. Something that there's no benefit in it for you. There's going to be a harm in there for you and for other people. You're not going to bring any good in this issue. You're going to only bring what? The other statement I wanted to mention is subhanallah, Abu Darda radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. He heard a man one day insult him. And this is very good for the people on social media. You find a person comment, somebody said something about him on his video, or someone commented on something he said on social media, he responds, and then he responds, and he's foul. Some of them are foul, the things that they're saying, vulgar in what he's saying, hiding under the name Abu or Ummu, this, anonymous. Remember, Allah can see you, subhanahu wa ta'ala, sah? Everything you write and everything you say will be brought to you yawm al-qiyamah, and you will be dealt with. Look what Abu Darda, this man said to him. He spoke to, even if somebody insults you, what is it that's upon you as a person who is now holding the inheritance of Nabiullah Muhammad? My brothers, do you not know that people, when they look at a person of knowledge, they see you as the person who's holding the Prophet's inheritance. They see you as a person who's occupying the Prophet's seat. You're sitting in the Prophet's chair. You need to understand the weight on your shoulder and the way that you carry yourself when you're speaking to the rest of the people. Sah? Look what he said, Abu Darda, radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. He said, when that person insulted him and ridiculed him and shamed him and said it, he said to him, if what you have said about me is real and it's true, may Allah forgive me for it. And if what you said about me is not true and I do not have that, then may Allah forgive you. And then look what he said, I am not going to disobey Allah in wronging you and speaking vulgar and foul with you the way that you have disobeyed Allah in speaking to me in the way that you spoke to me. Allahu Akbar. And look at that, the way you carry yourself, the way that you speak and what you say. Look at Ibn Taymiyyah. My brothers, this man went through a lot. He even died in prison. Look what he said. He said, I have an open heart, chest for anyone who opposes me. Anyone who disobeys Allah in me, he says, and exceeds his limits in making takfir of me or saying that I'm a fasiq or makes up things against me, I am not going to exceed the boundaries of Allah regarding him. You find online, he makes somebody say something bad about you, You, khariji, kafir, murtad. The other one says, you're the murtad. Yani just because he said it to you, does it mean he's a murtad? Just because he said you're a mubtadi', does it mean you can call him a mubtadi'? That's a haqq of Allah. Yani my brothers and sisters, remember this, wallahi, as long as you live. The person who is soft and gentle in making tabdi', by default, he's making soft and gentle takfir. It's not possible that you stay away from takfir, but your tongue is very long when it comes to tabdi'. Both of them have what? Conditions. Why are you so gentle here? Why are you so fearful and precautious here? And here you're just making tabdi' of everybody. And I'm not the person who did this, say this. Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah said it, rahimahullah ta'ala, that at-tabdi'u wa-takfir wa-tafsiqu are all under that category of babul asma'i wal-ahkam. Remember that. However much a person says, I don't do takfir, if he's lenient on tabdi', then the principles of what the problem here is present here as well. He just doesn't know. So look what Shaykh al-Islam Taymiyyah said, anyone who disobeys Allah and exceeds his limits and makes takfir of me and makes tafsir, I'm not going to disobey Allah in him. I'm going to restrain my speech and action. Is that what we find online? Billahi alaykum, is that what we find a lot of Muslims doing online? Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. This is hisab yawm al-qiyamah. Ibn Taymiyyah said, I'm going to hold of what I say and what I do. And I'm going to scale it on a scale of justice. And I'm going to base it all based on Allah's word, subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the messenger. That's what's going to govern me, not my emotions. This is ajib. Another thing, my brothers and sisters, is there's no husnul dhann. Somebody said something. Did he mean that? Did he intend that? There's nothing. No husnul dhann for this individual. Maymun ibn Mihran said, there is not a statement that has reached me regarding a particular person. Statement reached me from this person that he said, except he said, I wish that there is a reason. That's what I'm holding on to. If he says to me, I never said it, I never want any evidence for him. It is more beloved to me than 80 witnesses testifying that he did say it. I did not say that. It's more beloved to me than 80 witnesses. Maymun ibn Mihran said this. Maymun was a katib Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. He was Umar ibn Abdul Aziz's writer. These statements, my brothers and sisters, are what is missing from us. I'm going to conclude with this last final point. If you ever find anybody who's following up people's mistakes, every week he's out and he's responding to another person. Oh, this person did this. I need to correct him. Remember this and hold on to this, my brothers and sisters. Bakr ibn Abdullah al-Muzaniyu, rahimahullah, he says, if you find a person, he's following up people's mistakes. Sometimes you're like, where did you find this from, Habibi? It's like, yeah, I watched his video 4 years ago that he did in minute 30. He watched the whole video and the videos before that and the whole, just to find one mistake in it. Well, wallahi, you think I'm making this up? Wallahi, there are people who do that. They watch videos, they listen to people just so they can find a 2-minute mistake. Or if you see a person following people's mistakes and he forgets his own mistakes, wallahi, every single one of us, we are fault that's walking. I don't understand. When I look at other people, I honestly look at myself and I say to myself, Abdurrahman, wallahi, say Alhamdulillah, Allah is concealing your mistakes. Say Alhamdulillah, Allah is hiding what you're really like. Anyone who follows up the mistakes of the people and forgets his own, remember that person is deceived. Fudail ibn Iyad said, anyone who wants leadership, remember this, he wants to be known, he wants to come out, he wants a position, he wants to be known, he wants riyasa, power, leadership. The first trait Fudail ibn Iyad said he comes with is what? Hasad goes into his heart. Straight after that, he transgresses on this person. And then he starts to follow the people's mistakes. And he does not like hearing any good about this person. La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. And wallahi, the truth of the matter is, this deen, it needs a lot of people to work for it. Trust me, one thing I can tell you is this deen, the doors for it is so much. There is no reason for us to feel like it's crowded. Every single person who's called into the path of Allah, with knowledge, with righteous actions, wallahi, it brings happiness and joy to every single person who's on that path. The Salaf, they used to say, if you hear a person who's calling to the Sunnah, who is propagating knowledge, who's acting, he's holding himself the way that the person of knowledge should hold himself. If you hear of that person, you do, send to him a salam. My salam to you is, may Allah increase you in good and khair. My brothers and sisters, I have stories of Sheikh Abdulaziz ibn Baz. I'm going to mention a final story and I'm going to conclude there. There was a man by the name of Muhammad al-Ghazali. Sheikh Muhammad al-Ghazali he was a contemporary man. He wrote a book, may Allah forgive us and forgive him, which he said many mistakes in there. He came to Saudi Arabia and Sheikh Abdulaziz ibn Baz welcomed him. The students were shocked. This fine Sheikh, by the way, Sheikh Muhammad al-Ghazali, Sheikh Muqbil ibn Hadi al-Wadi'i said he's a mulhid. Yani if you look at Ibn Hajar's statement in Fath al-Bari, a mulhid means he left the fold of Islam. That's what Hafiz Ibn Hajar says, right? Sheikh Ibn Baz, what did he do? He welcomed him into his office, sat with him, spoke. Muhammad al-Ghazali was thinking, what's happening here? He was expecting a response, hard, tough. When the opportunity came, Sheikh Ibn Baz, in a most gentle manner, said to him, I read your book. I came across your book. I saw some akhta here and I think it should be corrected. The way in which Sheikh Ibn Baz dealt with him, he said, Wallahi Sheikh, any places you have a concern for, let me know and I will correct it. Sheikh Muhammad al-Ghazali was invited to a place to eat Asha that night. He came very late. When he came late, the people who invited him said, why did you come late? He said, Wallahi, I was in another world. I was in front of a giant, Sheikh Abdulaziz Ibn Baz. You can find that biography in the kitab Siratu Sheikh Abdulaziz Ibn Baz by Sheikh Muhammad ibn Ibrahim al-Hamad. I'll tell you something shocking. That same Sheikh Muhammad al-Ghazali, Sheikh al-Albani rahimahullah, what did he do to his book? He took that book of his, Fiqh al-Sunnah, Sheikh Albani did takhrij of it. He worked on his book, whatever hadith he agreed with. Hatta, forget something else. Yusuf al-Qaradawi's kitab, Al-Halal wal-Haram, Sheikh Albani made a takhrij on that book and he called it Ghayatul Maram, correcting the hadith which are da'if and the hadith which are sahih. What I mean is this: a person can fall into a lot of mistakes. You correct the mistakes, and that's what you're looking for. You want these mistakes to go. Is that not what you want? Is that what you're looking for? Why are you going to take the most dim-witted method? Why are you going to take the most disrespectful method? So it's clear that you're not doing it so this munkar can go, or to get this person back to their senses, or for this not to spread. What are you doing it for? You're purely doing it because it's something within you. You're doing it for yourself. And you're lying about saying this is for the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And somebody like that, Ibn al-Jawzi spoke about it before in his book, The Deceptions of Iblis. From the deceptions of Iblis is that he fools those people by thinking that they are defending the deen, but in reality they're doing it for who? Themselves. Last point, and this story touches me a lot. Imam Ahmad was asked about a man by the name of Muhammad ibn Qurayb al-Hamdani. They said to him, what do you think about this man? He said he's a reliable man, an honorable man. They said, Ahmad, he criticizes you. And then he said, what can I do? A righteous man, Allah tested me with him. رَجُلٌ صَالِحٌ بُلِيَ بِي. One last point. Ali ibn al-Madini, they asked him about his father. Can we take hadith from your father? How is his memorization? He said, my father, his memorization is what his memorization is. Yani is not the best. He has to fear Allah in the concept of who? He can't say, take my dad's hadith, because his dad's memorization was very weak. What does that show you? This was not personal for them. It wasn't like, this is my father, I've got a different ruling for him, and everybody else I have a different ruling for. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He forgives us for anything I've said or any mistakes that came from me. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.